Hi, and welcome to Dramatic Knits. My name is Steve, also known as Dramatic Knits.
And I'm Callie, also known as Calsters.
And this is episode 272. Today is Tuesday, December 27th, 2016. If you're returning, thanks for coming back one more week. And if you're new, hopefully you enjoyed today's show. So we're closing out 2016, and we have a lot to show you today, but we're going to try to, again, stay streamlined, because we got some plans. We got some dinner plans. We got some knit night plans. We got plans, y'all. So, let's just say happy holidays to all of our viewers. If you celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas. If you celebrate anything else, we wish you the warmest of holidays, and we hope that you have a wonderful new year.
Hanukkah is still going on, so happy Hanukkah to all of those that are celebrating.
Absolutely. And, you know, we all see those memes on Facebook about being so fierce at the beginning of 2017, and we need to, because 2016
sucked.
Yeah, you can go in the bucket. Especially after, I don't know if you've seen or not, the news today of Carrie Fisher passing. It's just too many great people have left in 2016. So, here's to the best of 2017. I know we're going to be fierce and fabulous in 2017, and we'll still be podcasting and showing you how fierce and fabulous we are.
I mean, like, I'm talking about maybe getting down to Beyonce in a bodysuit type size. Watch for it.
Oh, type size. Okay. I just immediately went to, you were going to start podcasting in a bodysuit, and I was like...
I haven't reached that point of security level.
Well, let's get into the show. So, the past 2 weeks for myself, I am on winter vacation from work. I am a high school teacher, for those of you new to the podcast. And it is already going way too quickly. I've got a couple more days left. My partner Andy and myself are going to be leaving tomorrow morning to go visit his side of the family for the holidays up in northern Indiana. So we'll be leaving Wednesday tomorrow morning and coming back Thursday evening. So get to see the niece and nephew and do presents and exchanges and see both sides of his family in, you know, essentially what is 36 hours, essentially. So it's kind of quick, down and dirty, but, you know, get her done, right? So holidays were good on my end. I had Christmas Eve dinner at my mom's and then went back over there for Christmas morning, because that's our tradition, is to have breakfast. But, you know, now that we're all in the same town and no extended family, we stay in our PJs and open presents, and it takes forever, and we all do too much, and got a lot of things way too much. But that's pretty much been about it. I've been on vacation and working, and trying to get a little bit of relaxing in. So that's been it, besides where we went together, but I'll let you talk about that.
So my last 2 weeks have been exciting and adventurous. I recently, to get on point, I recently watched School of Rock, and if you can imagine me leaving work at the end, it was kind of like Jack Black on his first day of sub-teaching. That's pretty much it. Pretty much ran out the door and high-fived everybody, which was really only one person besides me, so that's cool. That's what else. And I was not the last person to leave, so that was really exciting. But other than that, not too much going on. Christmas went well. We had lunch at my aunt and uncle's, and it went really well, because that's my uncle that is super drunk all the time, and he was not drunk and did not drink at all. And so that was vast improvement over the holidays and past. So I think me having a chat with him and my cousin backing me behind that really made a difference. So that was exciting and well enjoyed by all. And before that, Steve and I went down on Friday, the 23rd, to go see Amber, Yarn Hoarder. If you're not watching her podcast, that shame on you, first of all.
You're missing out.
For real. for real. And it was good. We got down there. Steve and I traveled at the butt crack of dawn. And we had breakfast at Cracker Barrel. And that was good.
Interesting.
Yes. That was.
But it's good.
It was good. And then we got to Amber's house and met.
Spent 8.5 hours talking.
It's true.
No TV. No music.
Mm-mm.
No movies.
Mm.
Just chit-chatting.
Mm-hmm.
But if there's any trio of people who can spend 8.5 hours chit-chatting, it's the three of us.
Yep.
So,
So really, if you dissect that down, 8.5 hours divided by 3 people, I mean, that's, some good math for everyone that's wanting to do a puzzle. So it was really good. I had not met Heidi or RJ before, or Rick for that matter. And you had met Heidi, but not RJ or...
I've met RJ. I just hadn't met Rick, her husband.
It is fantastic. Their house is wonderful. I could basically live in her upstairs. That would be great. I mean, there's enough space and a bathroom, so I don't really need much more in life. I mean, a kitchen would be great, but, if you get, a toaster oven and a microwave and maybe a hot plate, who really needs any... Oh, and a fridge, obviously. But, yeah, I can pretty much live up there.
She hasn't planned this out at all.
No. But it was really good. I got to see her Leading Men Fiber Arts blanket in person, which is everything that you see on the podcast if you have not, or if you have watched it.
And if you follow her on Instagram, she finished her scrap blanket today. It's pretty amazeballs.
Yep. So, all in all, our visit went well. It was sad to leave. But we have plans for going down and visiting on the works.
Sometime in the future.
Yes. So that was my 2 weeks in review.
Awesome sauce. So, let's move into knitting. What is taking a bow? What have we finished? I have finished 2 things. One I finished previously and I don't have to actually show you. It is wrapped and under the tree to be taken to Indiana tomorrow. And that is the World's Simplest Mittens by Tin Can Knits. And I use Leading Men Fiber Arts box office in the long stocking colorway and glow stick colorways. And I did the child size, and I use a size 5 and 7 US, which is 3.75 and 4.5 millimeters. And here is what they look like. Sorry, it's the best I can do. My brightness is a little bit up on my phone. But you can check me out on Instagram. They're posted there. You might have to scroll a little bit back. But they turned out really cute. I decided not to do a pair for my nephew. I was kind of over it after one pair. And I was like, why? When the kid really doesn't care. To be honest with you, the mom could care less.
The end to the danger zone.
Based on her reaction from last year. And while Andy's brother does really appreciate it, and he's a good guy and all, I was just like, I don't need to force myself. I do that every year. I push it off, and I'm like, meh. And then I'm like, I gotta have something for everybody. A lot of things got recycled this year, not gonna lie. Things I had laying around, we'll give here and here. So he got something. He got a cowl that was laying around, and I do know that 2 or 3 years ago I gave the mom a cowl, and she didn't know what a cowl was, and she was super excited, so the kids got cowls last year. So, anyway, or not last year, the year before, so this was like 3 years ago. Jeez. Anyway.
I just want to add, because I took a lot of my knitting that I had kind of stockpiled, because, quite frankly, for a long period of my life, there was not people that were knit-worthy. And I will say the best pattern that you can do for that stockpile is the boomerang. Like, no joke. I mean, everybody loves them. I gifted 2 that I had knitted this year. People went nuts. Stockpile those bad boys. Because it's like one of those like mindless projects.
You will see here in a little bit. So the second thing I finished this morning, and that's the classic cuffed hat by, if my notes would stay up, by Pearl Soho, and they have a beautiful pattern page of these hats knit in all different sizes and all colors of the rainbow. And I wanted to use some scraps that I had left over from recent projects. So I used Dream in Color Classy in the Pinot colorway for the main body of the hat, and I did the ribbing in Madeline Tosh Merino Light in the Farmhouse White colorway, and I held it double because it is a worsted weight pattern. And there you are. I put it in a foam head already. And I used a little bit of Madeline Tosh Merino Light in the Great Gray Owl for the pom-pom. So I did buy some pom-pom makers. I will show you that in Stash Enhancement. And I made my first pom-pom using a pom-pom maker. So here's the hat. And sorry, we do have my OT light on today to try to balance out actually the harsh natural light, and we thought it would work well. It's a little bit better farther back, I think. There you go. But there's my pom-pom. I tried to use the rest of the yarn, and the way I wrapped it, I thought it would disperse it throughout, but it actually just made a little mohawk in the pom-pom, but it's cute. I need to learn how to attach a pom-pom better. Is it supposed to be attached this flimsily? You guys let me know in the comments on YouTube or on the Ravelry thread, but do I need to take a pom-pom class? I've only done a few in my life, and if you've been a really long-time viewer, you remember the great pom-pom incident of
what, 2013?
the year of the Ernest, when he ate one on the live on the show. But this one is definitely much better. This pom-pom is much better than the one I did with hand-drawn and cut-out cardboard. So, pom-pom makers, good investment. I bought anyway, I'll show it to you later. But I do love how the Pinot in Dream in Color knit up. I used all of the yarn of both of these colors, and I've got some of the darker gray of the pom-pom to put into my scrappy blanket that I'll show you here in a minute. So, it actually doesn't have this much slouch, except on a mannequin head, which are way smaller than normal heads. So, super happy with that. Very, very mindless. And if you've got fingering weight scraps, a good deal of them, you could hold them double and again do the alternating brim. I actually really like the solid brim with a variegated body.
I really am digging that.
Good go-to pattern, and to eat up through some of the yarn. And I do not want to put that on the floor because we may have another pom-pom incident. So that's all that I finished in the past 2 weeks.
I have 3 finished objects.
Gotta show me up.
One was done before, but I did not show them because they were Steve's Christmas present. And they are the oat socks that I was knitting in the off something colorway. So I finished those a while ago.
See, now look at the outlight lighting up those babies, but the hat didn't want to do. Anyway.
That was my hair.
She knit her hair into it just so I'd remember who made them for me.
DNA, if I ever go missing. Too soon.
Not soon enough. Just kidding.
So I put something in Steve's gift bag this morning, and I was really mad because I snagged it, and so that's why
She snagged a stitch on the heel.
Yeah, it was pretty into the heel, so it was not fudgeable. And then I was like, well, snarky snark. So I redid them, and I think they turned out pretty well.
They're awesome. I'm going to wear them tomorrow going to Indiana.
So that's project 1. Project 2 that I got done, I cannot show you as well because it's the Be Kind hat. I knit that in Cascade 220, and I knit it in the charcoal gray colorway. My dad, so I gave it to my dad for Christmas, and it fits really well. And he was like, oh yeah, this fits way better than the last one that I mowed over. And so, anyways, that was really nice. And he went out Christmas Day hunting. I know there's various and sundry on people's thoughts on that, but I also had to wait when I was a kid for Dad to come back from hunting to open presents. And little is it known, but I was an early riser as a kid because I went to bed at 6, and so I got up at like 2 or 3 in the morning. So that was a long wait. And but he wore it out hunting, and he got 2 pheasants. All the meat that he gets goes to other families that can use it. And so he was like, this is my new lucky hunting hat. And he has not taken it off, so I cannot show it to you. And I can't imagine how disgusting it's going to be in the next week or two.
But because it's Cascade 220 Superwash, you can throw it in the wash.
Yeah, but then he might be like, well, you washed out the luck if he doesn't get anything. So that's done. And that went over well, obviously. And then this the next thing I finished was the A-cow, and I'm going to have Steve pronounce it.
It's the Takushka cowl.
And it's the patterns by Lisa of Fiber Nymph. And I bought this in a kit when she was doing her kit along, and I never finished it. So I started this and finished it. This is in the Autumn Rustic colorway, and I think it turned out really well. I did a knit two together through the back loop for the bind off because I was worried that it might not be stretchy enough to go over the recipient's head. So I think this turned out really well, and it reminds me very much of the National Park Services, like very much like those kind of campy colors. And so I'm giving this as a belated Christmas gift to someone that we haven't exchanged gifts for, so it's not really belated, but I think she will like this because she is a National Parks super fan. So that is exciting. And those are all my finished objects.
So, moving right along into what's performing this episode, the first thing for me is my Rogers-esque cardigan jacket. It's a cardigan jacket by Mary Townsend, and I'm using Barocco Weekend DK in color number 2144, which is the squash colorway, on size 3 and 5 US, which is 3.25 and 3.75 millimeter needles. And let me see where that is at. Gotta push my cart bag. That's over here. Got way too many projects anymore, people. So I showed you last time that I finished the back and I just started the front, and I think I have 1 more inch to go before I start shaping the first front. So here is what will be the right side, and again, it's curling because of the stockinette, so it is wider than it seems. This will be the button placket, and if I'm not mistaken, I don't remember, I haven't looked that far in the pattern, let's just be honest. I don't know if I fold this back and seam it so it's like a double thick button band, but you do this 1 row of pearls to kind of accent that button band all the way down. It's got a little bit of good ribbing at the bottom. So there's that. Just kind of going on that. Is a lot of mindless stockinette, which is really good for me anymore. And then next up is 14 Karat by Michelle Hunter. And I'm using Madeline Tosh sock in the Dust Weaver colorway on size 7 US 4.5 millimeter needles, and I'm almost halfway done. So here's where it's at. It's a big swath of cloth. Again, it's folded and seamed into a poncho. It's got the diamonds on the bottom, and then you go into the eyelet section with the diamonds on the side as well. And I've almost completed 7 repeats out of 14 for the size that I am making. And then you do the diamond motif again on the other side. So that's going. I'll be taking that with me to knitting this evening. And after that is my Acid Trip garter stitch boomerang, and I started knitting and I couldn't finish a row, but this is, I will show it to you better when I finish the row. I'll interrupt Callie when she's doing hers. This is Leading Men Fiber Arts Showstopper in the Acid Trip colorway. This was our December 2016 colorway of the month, and I'm using a size 6 US 4.0 millimeter needles, and there it is. It's a, excuse me, a pink undertow with pops of some oranges, orange golds, and magenta, like a purple pop, and some emerald greens, and some pecan browns. in there. So a very speckle-tastic colorway. Again, I love what a boomerang does to a good multicolored yarn. So
This reminds me of that candy that you buy at Christmas time. The
ribbon candy?
Yeah, sort of.
I actually thought of a better name for this after I had tagged all the stuff that we had dyed, of Island of Misfit Toys. And then, because it was coming out in December. But I'm thinking maybe that might be the name of, next year's holiday colorway. As Callie knows, we are already in the plans and works for next year's holiday season and possibly a holiday kit. So keep your eyes and ears peeled in about 9 to 10 months. But we're forward thinking here anymore.
You guys are gonna like May's colorway.
We got a lot of new things coming out. You're gonna like a lot of things coming up. I hope you do. Then where's the other bag? Oh, here. Then I'm working on a stockinette boomerang, but I'm actually gonna wait to show you that one because that shows our new colorway of the month, which I will show towards the end of the show in center stage. So I'm doing that on a size 6 again, but I'm making it stockinette. I really like the way stockinette stitches look if I'm using it also as a close-up of a gauge swatch for the website of what the colorway looks like knit up. And so I will show you that a little bit later. And then the second to last thing is I found my fade, y'all. Found my fade. So we're going to talk about an upcoming knit along going on in a little bit. And so I'm going to be knitting this for our knit along. And honestly, I was torn because it takes a lot of colors. The recommended number of colors for Find Your Fade is 7 colors. And I was like, I'd much rather buy a kit than pull from my stash that I already have projects claimed for. And then I said, that's stupid. You have a lot of yarn. This will eat up essentially 7 skeins. There'll be some that I can use for other things afterwards. But, I've got a stash for a reason. And so if you have not seen Find Your Fade, look it up on Ravelry. It's the new hot thing out there right now. It is beautiful. It is ginormous. It is between 1,500 and 1,600 yards of fingering weight in that boomerang shape. So it is one of those kind of schlanket type deals. Again, won't be for me, but let me show you my fade, y'all. I started it. So the first color that I am working with,
You've already started it.
I did, because
You
it was
told
my
me that.
Christmas
Sorry.
Day cast on. I posted it on Instagram. Everybody was loving my fade. So the first color I'm working with is some leftovers of Madeline Tosh Merino Light in the Tart colorway. And then it will fade into, so we have this, it's going to fade into Knitting Colors Acoustic Sock in Death Rides a Horse. That will then fade into Hedgehog Fibers Sock in the Film Noir colorway. And again, sorry, the light is kind of blowing it out. It's better back here. But this has pops of the black in between the two. And then that's going to fade into Lolo Didit's Awesome Sock in the Zombies colorway.
I can help you.
There. And then we'll just hold these all up. You'll start doing that. That's going to fade into Happy Go Lucky HGL Sock in the Ice King colorway. That's then going to fade into, I know, right? This is becoming a hot mess. Dreaming Color Jilly with Cashmere in a Little Night Music. And finally, Wandering Wool's Alsable Sock in Knitting in the Nashville Night. So.
Well, this was the colorway that we got in the goodie bag, right? This knitting in color?
Yeah, like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
2 years ago.
I was like,
Yes.
I think I have this kind of this.
So this is my fade, y'all. I like it now, looking at it that way. This one's popping out, but it's a very light blue with pops of red and black. And so again, that black, but the blue is then pulling into the blues on that side. So you kind of want to pick skeins that a color in one bleeds into the, you know what I mean? There needs to be a comprehensive colorway. So there's that. That's my big Christmas Day cast on. We'll see how long it takes. But we gave our knit along a decent amount of time just for the size of it. So putting those back in order. These are becoming a hot mess. Back in my bag, but there we go. Anyway.
Cool.
And then the last thing I wanted to show you was my granny square blanket. Sorry. So I did work on it. But I won't show you this every time. I just wanted to show it to you in the beginning. In fact, I won't list out everything. They'll be in our show notes, and I'll tell you what yarn I worked on that week. But I did work on my granny square blanket, which is here in my awesome basket that I showed you, and it keeps my scissors for when I have to magic knot on new yarn. And so here it is in all of its glory. So I think I've added on the cream and then the Dreaming Color red here, and then another Crafty Girl, and then I did some Reconditioned Punishment by Leading Men Fiber Arts, and now I'm adding on some Metamorphosis by Leading Men Fiber Arts here towards the end. I'm using a size E hook, which is a 3.5 millimeter needle, and I just use every last scrap that I have and magic knot a new color. I don't do a single round. Some rounds are longer, as you can see here. But thought I'd show you a little bit. So I work on that every now and then when I watch TV downstairs with the leading man. I keep it next to the couch, and I love my bear basket. So there's that. Now you can go, Callie.
Thanks.
Finally.
Okay, so I'm not really working on too much right now just because I finished the cowl last night, and I didn't have time to wind my project. But I am working on the second sock. This is the opal colorway that I'm doing my mom for Christmas. She really enjoyed the first sock, so that's exciting. And she was like, it's a little snug, so I'm going to make this one a little longer. Because, yeah, I'm about that.
Well, and I think everybody says that one of your feet are smaller than the other. And
so I was like,
she'll just have to figure it out. But.
Yeah. And this, I'm knitting this on in size 0 US, and that's something really small, 2.0, I think. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was right. But it's in the opal Schnicky colorway. And it's going well. And the first sock, just to remind you, looks like this. So it's going well. And then I'll just move into what I have planned to work on next. I will be casting on a boomerang, and I'm using another Crafty Girl in the Combustible Lemons colorway. This is on her strong sock, which is fingering. It's 80% superwash merino and 20% nylon. I bought this about 2 years ago or so, but I really like it, and I thought this would be a nice boomerang, especially to stockpile either for myself or for a gift, because again, super easy to gift. And for our upcoming cowl, I will be doing On the Spice Market by Melanie Berg, and I've shown this combo before, right after SSK, but it is using Sun Valley fibers in her 75% merino, 15% cashmere, and 10% silk worsted in the colorway Raspberry. I really like this. So this will be the main color. And then the little bits are in her Gray Skies colorway. It's a gradient kit. So I'm really excited about those. So I'm hoping to wind these tonight to cast on. I don't know if I will knit it in the shop though. Just because I feel like I'm going to need some quiet time and an adult beverage. Yes. So those are the two things that I plan on casting on. And then I have 2 socks waiting to get. One is my Hermione's Everyday sock that I plan to get back to. One is another sock that I will be starting because I've already decided Steve and Andy's Christmas present for next year. It's not really a sock. Maybe it is. It's a sock for Andy, okay? You got it out of me. And so,
I know what it is.
Yeah. I'm going to copy Amber's pattern for the, like, jersey socks, if you will, with the striping for Notre Dame, because Andy's a big Notre Dame fan. And I know that I'm right on that.
True story.
So I will be using Dames at Sea and Smoky Quartz. Because those are the 2 colorways that you guys produce that are the closest
Correct.
to their colors. So, yes.
I do not have anything in rehearsal because I've got enough on the needles, and that Find Your Fate is going to take me some time. So, let's move right into behind the scenes. My spinning. What have I been spinning? Well, I finished some this morning, and it is part of Callie's Christmas gift. She just saw it before I hit record. I still do need to wash it and tag it, so she'll get it next time we see each other. But this is the First Drafts Polworth in the Anemone colorway, and Callie affectionately calls this Guts, something with Nickelodeon and back in the 90s. And it's been too long since I've watched anything related to Nickelodeon, but for the most part, it's barber pulled goodness. It's a 2-ply fractal spun. There are some times when the acidy green is plied on itself and some when the purple is, but for the most part it's barber pulled, and I got 392 yards of a fingering weight, so super excited about that. I'll be excited to see what she makes, some fingerless mitts, or I don't know.
I have
Cow
plans.
Oh, she's plans.
I do. But I also have to double check the pattern to make sure that I'm right on this.
So I'm excited to see how that knits up and plays out. So that's what I finished.
And it's super soft.
Polworth is super squishy, super springy. And then coming up on the wheel here soon is going to be the second braid of Gale's Art Mixed BFL that did not come with a colorway name, but I'm calling it Desert Rose. I finished the first cane. I showed you that last time. And that's what that looks like. So I'm going to be doing the second skein. And this is coming to the end of my commission spinning. I think I have 1 or 2 more braids for my person that I'm commission spinning for. I do have In the Scene shop again. So if you remember, I added this section a little while ago for extra crafts, and then I fell away from those extra crafts because they were pulling from my knitting time and I was losing my knitting mojo. Well, I was feeling a little distant from cross stitch, and I was like, well, I'm being motivated by it again, and there's a pattern I really want to get, and it's going to be a decent amount of money to get I want a kit that this company kits up. And I said, well, I need to finish what I'm working on, and I have another kit that I need to get done. Andy's totally supportive, but he's like, when do you have the time? Finish what you have, and I'll totally support you. He's like, he just doesn't want things to get out of hand like knitting and yarn has. So I am working on my Begin row by Bent Creek, and I was so close to finishing it, and I'm sorry guys, I did not take it out of the hoop, partly because I don't need to finish this, and I don't really want to put it back in the hoop, but I will open it up this way. So it's an alphabet sampler with a bunch of trees, and in the alphabet itself, the word begin is bolded, and then it has a saying at the bottom that says, a journey of 1,000 miles must begin with a single step. So I'm very close to finishing, as you can see over here, and I am going to eventually iron this, and take this into our local needle workshop to get it framed. So I'd be interested, to see how much that is, because I've heard framing can be very expensive. But since this is an odd shape, I figure it would be better to just have it done well for me to really appreciate the work. So this is done on 14 count Aida, and yeah. So I'm going to have to finish it up, I'm going to have to learn how to do some French knots for the bird's eyes, and I need to, excuse me, not drop my needle minder. And I'm also going to have to put in the beaks, which some yellow. But I think that's pretty much it. So there's that. And this is the needle minder, I believe, from Gina's Unique Boutique on Etsy. I tend to use the back because I think it's more magnetic because it's round on the top. The needle kind of does a compassy thing rather than really just sticking there as it does on the back. But jewelry for your cross stitch, if you will. All right. So that's all that's in the scene shop. So let's move into the spotlight. What are we watching and reading? I'm going to go quickly over this. We did watch a little bit more of House of Cards Season 4. I know we're taking forever to get through that. Still enjoying it, though. And I forgot to mention a new show that I heard talked about on the Two Knitlit Chicks podcast, and I decided to try it out. And I'm in Season 2 because the first 2 seasons only have 3 episodes each, and they were a British production in the first 2 seasons, and that's called Black Mirror. It is on Netflix now. Netflix has picked it up for the 3rd season, and it's now an American-based TV show for Netflix. And I think maybe there's 6 episodes in Season 3. I'm not there yet. It's kind of an equivalent to Twilight Zone for the modern day, but based in technology. So it's kind of the dark side of how technology can interrupt, inconvenience all the way to kind of destroy our lives. So each episode is completely different. New actors, there's no through storyline. Each episode is completely separate. So in that essence, I did shotgun a bunch of episodes. They kind of got a little repetitive, only because there was the same theme. But if you take one in a bite size, and I think that's why they only did so many episodes in a season. But it is very well done and an interesting take on things. So you can check that out on Netflix. I did watch several movies. The first one I watched was The Revenant with Leonardo DiCaprio. I know we're old school. We've had it on our DVR for forever and a day. He did win the Academy Award finally for that role. Thought it was pretty good. Enjoyed it. It was a little long, but did enjoy the movie. And he did do a very good job in it. I then watched on Netflix Lizzie Borden Took an Axe, which was a Lifetime movie starring Christina Ricci as Lizzie Borden.
Was it a movie or a miniseries?
They did the movie originally, and then they did a season of a TV show, which was her life afterwards. It was not picked up for a second season because I was interested. And I may watch, I'm not sure if they have the TV show now that I think about it on Netflix, but if they do, I may watch it. I thought it was all right. They definitely they kind of left the whole movie of, they never really knew whether she did it or not. She was acquitted. They did that all the way up until the end, and then they're like, well, here's our take. Here's the story, And so it was interesting. I did think Christina Ricci did a good job. I watched Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, which I thought was completely cheesy, and I had read the book years ago. If you want to go for a good ride and be completely cheesy and over the top, watch it. And last night, Andy and I watched Joy, which stars Jennifer Lawrence. We both really enjoyed that movie. She was nominated for an Academy Award for that role. I did not know that. Did not know a whole lot of the backstory of Joy. Joy Magliano, I believe, was her last name. I looked her up online last night after watching the movie. She was the inventor of the Miracle Mop and went on to patent over 100 other items and became I guess maybe a household name for QVC and eventually HSN. So, but I guess the movie is loosely based on her life, not And lastly, what did I finish reading? I finished listening to Whispers by Dean Koontz. I will tell you, it is a long novel. Dean Koontz is very verbose. It is set in the 80s. It is a little dated, and it is a little graphic sometimes. So if you don't get into that, it's about killings and abuse and psychological damage and things like that. So if you don't get into that, but if you do and you enjoy a good thriller, I'd say check it out. But it got to me sometimes. I was like, whoa, just how demented the human psyche can become. So, but that's all that I've been watching and reading. So,
I have 2 stitches left on this row, or on this needle, I should say. Things that I'm reading, You'll Grow Out of It by Jessie Klein. I'm still on that, pitifully. It is really good. It's in the same vein as Yes Please by Amy Poehler and Bossy Pants by Tina Fey and other individuals. What I'm watching is a lot of stuff on the DVR. So I've wiped through all of this first part of the season for Scorpion. I'm almost all the way through this half of Two Broke Girls, this season-wise, and that's about it. Things that I'm listening to, I did pick up Bruno Mars' new CD. I downloaded on iTunes, I should say, and it's 24 karat, or 24 karat magic, something like that. It's really good. I like it. There's only 9 tracks to it. I think that if you enjoy Bruno Mars and you can create a Pandora station for Bruno Mars, that you'll probably hear about a good majority of it on Pandora, and I think that's worth listening to because it is a little bit different than some of the stuff that he's created in the past. So if you are not up for change, it may not be the thing for you. Just putting it out there. Something else, I downloaded Stanage's new CD, and it's called, what's it called? The Preview. Stanage was a guest on Jimmy Fallon a few weeks ago, and his single is Ain't Love Strange, and I really liked the live performance, and the CD's pretty good too. It's an EP, so it's not as expensive on iTunes, but that's one of those that you might want to preview the album before you buy it. I also downloaded Parallel Lines by Joss Stone. It's from her Color Me Free album, which is a few years old now, but I do enjoy that. Trying to think. Oh, and I also downloaded Daddy Lessons with Beyonce featuring the Dixie Chicks. That was the collab that they did at the CMT Music Awards. And I think that is all that I have purchased. But I really do like everything that I got, so I'm really happy with those selections. So if you're looking for something new, I'd recommend those.
So let's move into stash enhancement. Well, I've gotten a few things. The only thing that I'm going to show today is I got some pom-pom makers from Amazon using Amazon Prime. These came very quickly. They were like $7.99, and if you have Prime, free shipping. So they came in 2 days. They are made in China, and the English on the back for the directions are outrageously horrible. To the point that you have to read it like 3 times to understand what they're saying. Because I've never used one of these before. They're not that hard to operate, but I wanted to make sure I was doing things right. So, yeah, but it comes with 4 packs. I did use the largest one for the pom-pom that I made today, which came out to that size, which is not, ginormous, and I know they have really big ones, but I think this one is decent enough for a hat. I don't know why I'd really need a bigger one than that, so. But anyway, I thought I'd show you those, and say check it out if you're on Amazon.
I do have stash enhancement, but you will have to wait until center stage to see that.
All right, so let's talk about our toy knit along that is still going on for a couple more days.
Yes. The toy knit along started December 1 and will go until December 31. You can use any base of yarn, you can use any pattern, as long as in Ravelry it is classified as a stuffy or toy. That's one of the conditions. If you use any base of Leading Man Fiber Arts, you can enter your finished object in the finished object thread twice. And any questions, either you burn me or send me a PM.
We will lock that thread sometime on the 1st. Callie will do that.
Yep.
And so make sure you get your entries in prior to that. We will pull for a winner and announce it on our next episode when we record.
Mm-hmm.
So that brings us to our new knit along for the new year, and it is going to be the first quarter of the new year. It is going to be the first 3 months, so January, February, and March. And we are doing a joint knit along with a fellow podcast.
Can you guess? We mentioned it.
We mentioned the host, too. We may have visited them. We are going to be doing a joint knit along with the Yarn Hoarder podcast for the first 3 months in 2017, and we're going to be doing a multicolored shawl knit along. So while Amber and I are going to both be knitting a Find Your Fade, Callie already had plans to do her...
On the Spice Market.
Right, and we did not want to make people, one, purchase a pattern to participate in the knit along for this particular knit along. And the Find Your Fade is quite an investment. Now, you can do it with as little as 3 colors, but if you wanted to do according to the pattern, you need 7 colors. That's an investment. Not everybody can, jump on that bandwagon. So we thought, let's just encapsulate it in a multicolored shawl knit along. Must be a minimum of 2 colors. It's going to run January 1st to March 31st. Whips are allowed. So if you need to finish something up, let's not just weave in ends, but if it's going to encourage you to finish it, go right ahead.
We know there's projects out there.
So I said more than 1 color, co-hosted with the Yarn Hoarder podcast. You can post your finished objects in both groups. We are both going to be drawing for prizes. I'm not sure if Amber's going to draw one every month or if we're going to just wait till the end. In our group, though, if you use any base of Leading Man Fiber Arts, you can post your shawl twice to get 2 entries into our drawing. And you can also post it into the Race to the Finished Object contest as well to get an entry there. And then you can post it in the Yarn Hoarder podcast. You must be a member of both of our groups in order to be eligible to win. So
Even Corn Dog agrees.
I don't know if you heard that or not. He did a little whoop whoop, but it was really a dream. There's Onked out behind us. So.
Corn Dog is actually right underneath my chair.
And he's a snorer.
Yeah.
Hardcore. He's not that bad. Last night we were watching the movie and he was going to town. Anyway, so we hope you'll join us in our 2 multicolored shawl knit along. And I made a tag on my Find Your Fade and it was outrageously long. It's like Dramatic Hoarder multi-shawl KAL. I don't know. And the lighting is being wonky now. So anyway, so we'll hope you join us. We'll post a thread sometime. I may actually ask Callie to do that over the next couple of days as I'm going to be out of town and away from a computer. So
I can do that.
All right, so let's move into a round of applause. Last episode, we reviewed the ebook Squad Accessories by Sarah B. Abram. Such good people, such a great designer. And you guys got to enter for your own copy. One lucky winner has been drawn. All you had to do was tell us what pattern you would want to knit most from the book. There were 4 wonderful patterns in the book. And the winner of the Squad Accessories ebook is number 18, who is Knit Froggy Knit, and that's Tammy from Colorado. So congratulations, Tammy. If you would please private message me, Dramatic Knits on Ravelry, and let me know that you heard that you won on the show, and I will congratulate you and then shoot Sarah an email so she can gift you the ebook. So thank you so much for entering, and thank you everyone for playing along. If you did not win, please go out and get the book. It is well worth the price.
Yes. And Sarah equals good people.
As we have said. Alright, last time I did a knit a forward with my Outlier by Laura Ayler that I knit out of Barocco something. I don't remember now.
Remix? It wasn't Remix.
No, and it's not Bogally. It's something. It was a very thick or bulky weight yarn. So we had several people enter and talk about what they did that was positive out in the world. And the winner of this is number 3, who is Frugal Knitter. And that's Diana, and she took her mom out to lunch. Her mom doesn't get out very often, and so she took her mom out to lunch, and she really appreciated it. So congratulations, Diana. You did not say where you're from, but if you would, please email me, again, through Ravelry, Dramatic Knits. Let me know your first and last name and mailing address, and I will get this out to you as soon as possible, and it'll still be cool enough for you to wear this season. So I'm glad it'll be going to a good home. All right, we have our December Race to the Finished Object contest still going for the next couple of days. There is some yarny wonderfulness that's up for grabs, as well as a pattern from our featured designer, who is Laura Linneman of Lala Designs on Ravelry, and one half of the Knit Girls video podcast group, or podcast. We have not pulled for a prize for January, but it'll be wonderful as always. And we have a new featured designer who... let me pull that up. I don't want to miss giving her props. And she was a new designer to me and contacted me. And that is Jenny Santo. And she is going to be with us January, February, and March, our featured designer. And you can... find her under Jenny Santo Designs. Her website is alovelyhomadelife.com, and her name is Jenny Santo Pietro. And she has some wonderful designs, an eclectic mix of designs to choose from. Some kids knits, as well as hats, shawls, sweaters, cowls, mitts, you name it, she's got it. Even leg warmers. So definitely check her out. We will be linking her starting next episode as one of our featured designers.
Yes.
All right. So that being said, let's keep moving right along. I think that's it for our regularly scheduled show. So that means that we're about to ready to move into center stage. So we're going to go into all things Leading Men Fiber Arts. I highly recommend you stick with us at least for the next 5 minutes. Okay.
Do it.
So, center stage. First of all, let's talk year in review. 2016 is coming to a close. Last year, we started with a really great idea that Andy had of a year in review, of kind of a set of yarn that featured all of our new colorways that we premiered for the year. So, we premiered 10 new colorways as colorways of the month in 2016, and we are going to have 3 different kits for you this year. Yes, I said kits. So we're going to have a Showstopper mini skein kit that features 10 20-gram Showstopper minis. Each of them will be approximately 92 yards of fingering weight, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. We will then have full skein options, which means you'll get 10 full skeins of Showstopper, as I just talked about, as well as Show Stealer, which is 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon. Let's talk pricing really quickly, and then I'm going to show you the kits. So, for the Showstopper mini skein kit, again, you're essentially getting 2 skeins of yarn plus the rest of the goodies in the kit. Those are going to be $70 plus shipping. The Showstopper full skein kit are going to be $210 plus shipping, and the Show Stealer Show Stealer full skein kits are going to be $250 plus shipping. So we do realize that the full skeins are an investment, but again, you're getting 10 complete 100-gram skeins plus the rest of the goodies in the kits. We will be taking pre-orders for the year in review for the entire month of January. So we don't just do this for a week, we do it for the entire month of January. So you can think about it if you want to nab one of these, and all of the parts of the kits can be reproduced. We can add more to our initial orders to fulfill as many pre-orders as probably than we need to. Alright, so that being said, let me show you the kit. So, I'm going to show you a mini skein kit, but I'll talk about the differences between the mini skein and the full skein kits. So the mini skein kits are going to come with a muslin project bag that feature a design. Now, your bag may vary. There are going to be probably 8 to a dozen different designs. They will have Leading Men Fiber Arts down at the bottom. The colors will change. These are designed and handcrafted by our local yarn store owner, Kelly, who is the owner of Les Moutons Rouge Knittery. And so she designs these project bags and actually prints and adheres them and does all this in-house. So I thought it was a really great idea of a project bag that also will house the kit. So Kelly actually got one for Christmas, so you can see a different design. This one says knit and is red.
And you can see it at the bottom.
And the other thing besides the yarn that will be coming in the kit is a set of stitch markers from Selkie Studio, who is based out of Michigan. And while they are new to us, we are so happy we have decided to work with Danielle, who's the owner of Selkie Studios. She does handcrafted stitch markers, but also does these stitch marker tins that are paper crafted. So we worked with her to get our logos done up. And the eyeglasses are actually a 3D feature. So they've got the logo, and then these, you can feel on there the 3D feature. Well, here's what's really cool. They are small, but you can manage these with one finger. So if you're holding your knitting, you can open the tin, and then I meant to put these on a knitting needle, and I forgot. But there are 10 stitch markers in here that go up to a size 8, and as I dump them out, and each stitch marker has been designed to go with a particular colorway for in the kit. So there are 10 different colored stitch markers. You could have a stitch marker to match your knitting, and I just thought that was the cutest and most adorable thing. These are small enough. These are going to be a great addition to individual project bags. So if I do, and I probably plan to in the future, do something similar in the kits, then we will, you can just keep adding these to your knitting bags. I think they're going to be great.
Can I show the packaging that you did for mine?
Oh, sure.
Excuse me. So, one of the things that will not necessarily work due to shipping and things like that.
No, they'll be packaged the same way.
Well,
I can't guarantee how they're going to show up.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
But my plan is to package them the same.
Okay, so this is what it looks like. And you might think fries, you might think flowers. But
I thought both things as I figured out how I wanted to wrap them.
Okay, now hopefully
it'll work. No hands. It does stand up on its own.
So, how cool is that?
And would you put it back up there? Because mine are not tagged. I took them off from pictures. So each mini skein comes with a tag that I printed that says the 2016 Year in Review Showstopper Mini. And then it has all the information of the yarn as well as the colorway name and what month that premiered on. So each mini skein will be tagged so you know what you're getting and all of that. Mine, as you can see here, I took the tags off for photo purposes. But you get all these minis, and you could do some amazing things for scrappy blankets, scrappy socks, scrappy cows, scrappy hats. So I'm super excited, guys. I hope you'll partake. Again, you can find these kits. I will probably put them up in preview mode sometime this weekend, coming soon. And then when I get up on the day of the 1st, whenever that'll be, I will make them active. So they'll be available starting January 1 all the way through January 30th, 31st, wherever the
31st.
last day of January is. So, and then you've got your own little drawstring bag.
Yeah.
So, again, this is the mini set. This will retail for $70. The full skein sets, the only difference, you'll get the stitch marker tin, and you'll get all 10 skeins that will be individually wrapped, and it'll have a sticker with the month that it premiered on it. But you will get an actual tote size bag with the design and the logo on the bottom. that will fit all 10 skeins in it. So great for on-the-go knitting or going shopping at festivals and shows and things like that. So that's the difference between the mini skein and the full skein kits. So we'll hope you'll partake. We are going to do a year in review knit along in the Leading Men Fiber Arts Ravelry group. And to participate, you must be a member of the group, but the only thing that is a requirement is you must use one of the colors from the 2016 year in review. So any of the colors that we premiered in 2016, whether you use a mini, whether you use a full skein, it can include works in progress. Again, if it encourages you to finish up, go right ahead. We will have a thread in the Leading Men Fiber Arts Ravelry group to post your finished objects as well as chatter. And I'm thinking right now the grand prize will probably be a $50 gift certificate to Leading Men Fiber Arts, which is, can get you a couple skeins of yarn. And that will run the months of January and February. So not as long as our multicolored shawl knit along, but still plenty of time to get some projects completed. All right, that being said, that is premiering January 1st, but also on January 1st, we have our first 2017 colorway. And so the January 2017 colorway of the month is, it's getting a little redundant, but it is called Yarn Hoarder, and it has been inspired by our friend Amber and her family. So Amber came and visited me and Callie last month in December, and Amber really wanted to try her hand out at picking colors and seeing how the dye process takes place. And so we picked some colors that were reminiscent of her family, and we did one of her favorite dye techniques based on our yarns. And here's how it came out. So this is Yarn Hoarder. And again, there'll be better pictures online. Amber actually got her skein and posted it on Instagram if you haven't seen it. But it's got a kind of several different grays undertones, which is based off of her husband, Rick. Yeah. The light's washing out that light. But then there are speckles of a golden yellow, a rich pink, and a kind of a spearmint green. The yellow is off of her son RJ, the pink is for Amber herself, and the green is for her daughter Heidi. So this is kind of reminiscent of the Yarn Hoarder household. And I also brought this particular skein up because we are premiering a brand new base. This is going to be called our Diva base. And it is 150 grams of 80% superwash merino and 20% silk. You get 600 yards of a fingering weight, and it is so amazing, guys. I cannot wait to knit a shop sample out of this yarn. You can just see the drape with the silk. You are going to want to use this for shawls. A sweater that is a fingering weight sweater that's going to want to have a lot of drape to it. Cowls that are going to have a lot of drape to them. We are also going to be, we're dyeing this up now, filling up the for the booth for next show season. But we're also going to be doing them in gradients. I already split up a gradient. I will probably be updating that to the shop on Friday when we get home from Indiana. So I'm super excited to premiere this base to you guys. I hope you will love it as much as we will. It is a little bit more expensive. Again, you're getting the, sorry, I'm blowing out again. You're getting the, oh, I don't even have the overhead light. That's probably why. Anyway, you're getting the silk content plus the 150 grams. The skeins by themselves are going to retail for $36, and the gradients will be $46, just before the added time and energy of dyeing the different colors in the gradient and splitting them into mini skeins. So that is the Diva base. This is the Yarn Hoarder colorway. The pre-orders for Yarn Hoarder will be open January 1st through January 8th, and then we'll be updating it after then to the shop. Okay, quickly, I want to show you what I've added to the shop in the last couple of weeks, and then we will let you go, and we are going to try to get this updated and be out to dinner and knitting. So, some project bags. This one I'm calling Barbershop, and I have medium and extra large in those. I also have ostriches. Again, it's blowing out. So
Dang it, Anne.
I have Tranquil Gradient on Soliloquy. Under the Sea bags. I have a Razzle Dazzle gradient. So this is a speckled gradient that increases with the amount of speckling and the different colors in the mini skeins, again on Soliloquy. This is Razzle Dazzle number 5. This is the 5th one. We don't repeat the colors. I don't write down the recipes. I make 10 sets. Once those sets are gone, they're gone. So, all right, some yarn really quickly. Blue ink on Showcase. 911 Butterfly on Showstopper. I'm going to start handing this to you really quickly, just so it doesn't overload the screen. OMG Squee on Box Office. Vintage Sleigh Ride on Box Office. Neon Pencil on... Sorry, that is blowing out. Check it out online. It's got pops of pink, black, and yellow on white. That's on Showcase. Sunny Side Up on Ghostlight. Lace weight. OMG Squee on Showstopper. New Day on Playbill. Damn Straight on Spotlight.
I got it.
You Never Know on Playbill. A Director's Interpretation, Never to be Repeated Again. This was a kind of a oops of Acid Trip. This is on Show Stealer. And I think I have it on another base that I'm going to be updating soon. Winter Shrubbery on Box Office.
Well, these would go nice together if they were, the same weight.
Maybe. Jean. This we discontinued, but someone custom ordered it, and we said we'd do it, and Andy dyed up an extra skein. So this is a bright Kelly green on Spotlight, and there's one skein in the shop, so we don't really dye that one anymore. And then I have that same Director's Interpretation on Showstopper. So again, one of a kind, not to be repeated. And last but not least, sorry, I'm jumping out of frame, I have a Soliloquy gradient of Pink Lemonade. And I think this is the last one I have. So that's what's been updated in the last 2 weeks. Keep your eyes peeled on Instagram and Facebook for Leading Man Fiber Arts. It's the best way to keep track of pre-orders, new colorways, and our updates. You can always find the show on YouTube, iTunes, and our website, which is dramaticknits.com. And we hope you guys have a great 2 weeks. We will see you in about 12 days or so. And until next time,
We hope you
knit something dramatic.